Hi, this is Mrs. Smith, and today's lesson is about citizenship in the United States. First thing we need to do is get ourselves set with all of our supplies. You will need to have a piece of paper that says citizenship so that you can follow along while Mrs. Smith is reading out loud. If you don't have this, I should have put this digital copy in Google Classroom. The second thing we need is notes for your GeoJournal. One side says citizenship notes for your GeoJournal, and the other side says duty of a citizen. And it's a chart. This is a piece of paper that Mrs. Smith hands you out in class. The last thing you need is obviously your GeoJournal and something to write with. So pause the video if you need to, and let's get yourself set. It's citizenship reading passage, notes for your GeoJournal, fill in the blanks, GeoJournal, something to write with. Again, pause if you need. The first thing Miss Smith is going to do is I'm going to read out loud citizenship reading passage. Here's where I took a copy of what's in the textbook, and I'm going to read you about 3 paragraphs. And then we're going to figure out what do we have to write on our fill in the blank notes. So I'm beginning with from far and near. In the second half of the 1800s, many Chinese immigrants entered the United States. Some worked in mines while others helped build the Transcontinental Railroad. In the 1880s and the 1920s, new laws limited the number of U.S. immigrants from various countries. In 1952, legislation again allowed immigrants of all nationalities to become citizens. Rights of citizens. Although the United States is among the world's leaders in protecting individual freedom, many U.S. citizens have struggled for their rights. Even after African Americans were freed from slavery in 1865 by the 13th Amendment to the Constitution, they were denied their rights. Women could not vote in the United States until 1920. Native Americans, as well as Hispanics, Asians, the Irish, and other immigrants have fought against discrimination. The guarantee of equal opportunity in education, employment, and other areas of life has expanded over the years. Today, it is illegal for the government or private institutions to discriminate because of race, gender, religion, age, or disability. There are responsibilities of being a citizen in the United States. So, responsibilities of citizenship. Did you notice on your screen that you've got a chart that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Well, that kind of looks like this chart on your fill in the blank notes. U.S. citizens' rights come with responsibilities. Citizens should help decide who will run their government and what actions it will take. If you need to pause the screen right now, please do so. This duties of citizen chart that you see on this piece of paper matches almost exactly the jobs or duties of a citizen chart right there. So if you need to pause, basically what it says is pay taxes, cast an informed vote, serve on a jury, serve in the military, volunteer for activities, or obey laws. Get your pen or pencil ready. You'll need to add this information down on the bottom. Pause if necessary. There is optional, which means you have a choice, or mandatory, you have to do it. And when you look at this a little bit closer, you'll see that 3 of these things are optional, like voting, serving in the military, and volunteering for activities. Those are optional. You don't have to do that. But paying taxes, serving on juries, and obeying laws, those are mandatory. You have to do them. If Mrs. Smith did not pay taxes, I might go to jail. If I did not obey the laws, I might go to jail. If I did not serve on a jury, they might fine me money. So some of these things are optional, you have a choice, or mandatory, you have to do it. Pause the screen if you need to, because I need you to write on your notes the difference between optional and mandatory. We are going right on to citizenship. It's the combination of duties and rights of a citizen. Good citizenship means doing more than the minimum required by law to secure the good of the people. In a democracy such as the United States, government receives its power from the people. The word democracy comes from a Greek word that means the rule of the people. In order for the democratic system to work well, every citizen has the responsibility to take an active role in the political process. The political process can be described as those legal activities through which a citizen can bring about change in public policy. By involving themselves in the democratic system, U.S. citizens demonstrate their patriotism or their love for their country. There's some blanks for you to write. Get yourself right over here to citizenship notes. Blank is a combination of the duties and rights of a citizen. Guys, that word is citizenship. Take this word right here and rewrite it. And then a blank is a legal member of a country. This word is citizen. There are 6 duties of citizens on a chart. Guys, you should have filled that in already, but if not, go back to right here, take the information off of this chart, and write it on this chart right here. Continuing on, by being good citizens, people develop patriotism or love for your country. Can we make sure we spell this correctly? Patriotism. That is when you love your country. You're patriotic. You have patriotism. The USA is so awesome. People want to move here from other places. What's it called when you choose to move to a new country? You are called an immigrant. Immigrant. Now, we're going to watch this in a second on a video, but some people immigrate to a new country because they want to escape discrimination. They want to escape war, or other people move to try and make their lives better. But the process by which an immigrant becomes a legal citizen, it's called naturalization. So if you lived in a different country, but you want to become a citizen of the United States, you have to go through this naturalization process. Naturalization. Write that on your paper, please. Again, the video is going to talk about this, but if you are going to become a naturalized citizen, you have to have an immigration interview. Then you have to take a citizenship test. And then you have to participate in an oath ceremony, which is kind of where you stand in front of an auditorium and you say the Pledge of Allegiance and you take your oath to be loyal to the United States. Do you have your pen and your GeoJournal with you? If not, pause the video. Here's what I want. 5 facts from the Citizenship Brain Pop. Miss Smith is about to press play on this brain pop, and I want you writing down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things that you hear in this video.
This is an outrage. I demand a phone call. A British spy? But I'm an American citizen. Dear Agent Moby, what does it mean to be a citizen? From Dan. You want me to prove my citizenship by answering this letter? Alright, mister, I'll play your game. A citizen is a legal member of a community, like a city, state, or country. Citizenship guarantees you certain rights, but it comes with some responsibilities too. Every country has citizens and its own definition of citizenship. But since I'm trying to prove my allegiance to my native land, let's focus on what it means to be a citizen of the United States. Every U.S. citizen is a free and equal member of American society and gets to enjoy all the rights guaranteed by the Constitution. That's the document that lays out the plan for our government. It's the supreme law of the land. The basic rights of American citizens are listed in the Constitution's first 10 amendments, also known as the Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights guarantees all citizens freedom of speech and religion, the right to privacy and trial by jury, and a whole bunch of other important protections. Later amendments to the Constitution added new rights and protections. After the Civil War, the 14th Amendment expanded the definition of citizenship to include anyone born in the United States. It also guarantees all citizens equal protection, so a state can't pass a law that denies you your constitutional rights. Right, that goes for people too. You have to respect the rights of other citizens. It's not just being nice, it's mandatory, which means you have to do it. There are other mandatory responsibilities too, like paying taxes, serving on juries, and basically obeying the law. If you don't follow up on these responsibilities, you could face a punishment, like having to pay a fine or even serving time in jail. Then there are responsibilities that aren't mandatory, but highly encouraged. For one thing, citizens in democratic societies are expected to actively participate in government. The best way to do that is by exercising one of our most important rights, the right to vote. In a democracy, the government's power comes from the people. By keeping informed about important issues, choosing the elected officials to represent them, and even running for office themselves, citizens really control how their government works. What do you mean? Of course you were born here, weren't you? Right. Well, even if you weren't, you can still become a citizen later in life. The US is known as a melting pot, a mixture of people from many different ethnic backgrounds. Most American citizens either moved here from other countries or descended from people who did. These immigrants have come from all over the world, leaving their home countries to start new lives. To become an American citizen, immigrants have to go through a process called naturalization. To be naturalized, you need to live in the US, and you should definitely know how to read and speak English. After you fill out an application form, you get interviewed by an immigration officer, and then you take a citizenship test. Relax, the interview is just to make sure that you're eligible for citizenship, that you're not a dangerous person, and that you respect the Constitution. And the test makes sure you have a basic knowledge of US laws, history, and symbols like the American flag. Once you pass the test, you attend a ceremony where you take an oath of allegiance, and presto, you're officially a naturalized citizen. No, it's not exactly a walk in the park, but it's not supposed to be. Citizenship is a privilege that reflects our democratic values and brings people from many backgrounds together under one national identity. So, have I convinced you that I'm a citizen yet? Good. Now for my phone call. Hello, Burger Shack? I'd like to order a strawberry milkshake. Shaken, not stirred.
Oh, I don't want to replay the movie. Oh no.
This is an outrage.
Okay, I fixed it. Thanks for listening. I hope you got some good facts like I did about the brain pop. Here's what I wrote down. Yours might not sound the same as me, and that's okay. I wrote down that citizenship comes with rights and responsibilities. In the Constitution, the Bill of Rights guarantees freedom of speech and freedom of religion to people who live in the United States. I said that mandatory means that you have to do it, kind of like paying taxes and obeying laws. I wrote that democracy means power of the people, and it's a Greek word. And then I said naturalization is how a person from another country becomes an American citizen, and it takes years and it takes lots of money. So here's what Mrs. Smith's GeoJournal. Oh, there it is. That's what my GeoJournal looks like. And if you want to pause it so your facts match mine, that's fine, even though I wrote in cursive. The last thing for today's lesson is that Tim and Moby definitely talked about a citizenship test. Remember the steps back here to becoming a naturalized citizen? You have an interview to make sure you're eligible and not a dangerous person. You take a citizenship test. Well, I actually found a released citizenship test, and it tests your basic knowledge of United States laws and history and symbols. So I got it and I put it into a Google form. So it says, pass this test with a 70 or higher to become a citizen of the United States of America. So why don't you try? See how good you do. These are all things that you would, questions that you would have if you were taking a test for United States citizenship. Miss Smith put it in Google Classroom. It's just for fun. It's not a grade, but it's for you to see if you could pass the test. Now, we already talked about this. Naturalization takes lots of years of practice and money. So it probably, excuse me, probably a person who is about to take this naturalization test will have studied for a very long time to make sure he or she was ready and responsible enough to make a 7D. Thank you so much for listening to my lesson. You should have filled in notes for your GeoJournal and duties of a citizen. You'll want to glue this into your journal. Glue is in the top drawer in Mrs. Smith's room. And you'll want to take this journal, glue your notes in, put your facts in, shut it up, and go put it back in the basket so Mrs. Smith can give you your grade for the day. Ask your teacher if you have any questions. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.